occurring to the system, and then the state of Ohio put in the OHID system, but now we're back on track. So every month you will, that they have a release, we'll have one of these What's New in imagineIS. All right, so let's begin. Well, there we go. So today we have quite a few things that are going into the system that I would like to talk to you about. First off, we have a lot of updates to the individual's front page. The layout has changed. The circle of support is now easier to input and view. There's a connection between the residence address and IDS. There are learning logs. They're easily input by the SSA now. And also the, excuse me, the integration of employment first is visible on the individual's front page. We also have the action plan steps. We've made it a lot easier for the SSA to enter the action plan steps. Case notes, we've had some upgrades and some improvements in case notes, including when you do save in new, makes it much faster and much easier to input additional case notes. We have a couple of new reports, discovery history and proposed services, that we're going to show you. And finally, we have some really nice updates for the provider portal or the individual, whoever's in the system. So let's begin by talking about the individual's front page. Now, as I start this, just to tell you, you have on the webinar, this slideshow is available to you. So you are welcome to download it, and it might make it a little easier just to remember everything I said. I'm going to get out of the PowerPoint now, though, I think. And I'm going to go straight into Imagine so that I can follow everything inside. You can see it live as opposed to just seeing it on a static screen. So here is the new layout. You can see, I'm going to come down a little bit, everything is now all the way across the screen. All right, things are easier to read all the way across. There's not as much white space, so it's much easier to see what's on the individual's page. The layout spans the entire width, and it just looks nicer and easier to view and easier to get the information that you're looking for quickly. The next thing, as we scroll down the page, well, actually, I'm not going to scroll down. I'm going to go to Contacts from my drop-down. I clicked the little piece of paper and went to Contacts. As always, Active Guardians is going to show up at the top of the contacts. That is the default. That's because we have other counties that are using the CRM system and need that information. Here are the circle of support. Notice they are right under the Active Guardian. So they're very easily seen quickly. And you don't have to go through any drop downs and going to different menus now. If I want to add a new circle of support contact, I simply click the plus button and the information will come up and I enter it and save. That's all I have to do. So it's very easy to get all of the doctors, ministers, anyone that is a support for the individual. Okay. Are there any questions about the circle of support and how it's input, or any the people that are supposed to be there, any of that? Okay. Well, now I'm going to go back up and I'm going to look at addresses. See, there's no more scrolling all up and down the screen. So our residence right here, which is your residence address, which is the one that is required, this information will now be synced with IDS, the new IDS, not the old legacy system, but the new IDS. This is all the information is flowing between the two. When you put in a new residence address, you're going to receive a confirmation screen. You can, just to show you what this looks like, I go in, okay, I put in my type of address. We're going to do residence. And then I have to do my living arrangement. I'm just going to choose family and relative for right now. And that way I don't have to do a subcategory. Now, the first thing I always do is I should go in and look to see if there is, the address is already available. So I'm going to just search by the beginning of the street name. No records found. All right. So I'm going to enter a new record. Okay. Wait. So we're going to do 456. Oops, got to turn my email off. I don't know if you guys could see that, but whoops, there we go. Okay. All right. Oops, got too many. Several too many. Okay. Now, what they're telling you, it's not that the individual's address cannot be changed. You can still, at any time, go in and change the individual's residence address. However, what they are saying is, if you save this particular information in the residence address, that address is going to be saved in the individual's record in IDS. So it's important that you take your time and put in the correct address. Now again, I certainly can change it very easily by just doing just what I did just now. All right, then I do save and close. Oops, I'm sorry, I forgot to do my dates. That was me. I had put the other one in just this morning, so it really doesn't want to, I can't put in a new one because I didn't change my end date correctly. So, but you can see the address is right here. The effective date was today. I could have made that something different if I wanted, but the current address is there. The important thing about the addresses, and again, the only thing that's really changed is the connection with IDS. As we said before, this is all the DODD system. So it's all integrating together so that you don't have to move around to all these different legacy systems as you did in the past. Everything will be available right here in CRM. All right. Any questions about the address information? Gosh, we're going too quick, guys. All right, learning logs. There's been individual's ISP. So now, as long as I am in the individual's front page, I click on the down arrow beside their name in the navigation bar, and then we find learning logs right here. So it's under common. So I can click my learning log. It's going to open up my learning log associated view. And you can see there's a lot of them in there. I can add a new one very easily, okay? And, all right. So you put in the date of the update. If they had sent this last week and you just didn't have, or a couple of weeks ago and you just haven't had a chance to put them in, we can just put the information in. We also have the choice. Is it general new learning or is it the action plan? So is it learning that is attached to an action plan with an outcome that the information is specific to the individual achieving that outcome? Or is it simply new learning? For example, if the individual, adult day center is taking everyone to the movie and there's a pigeon in front of the movie theater and the individual is very scared of the pigeon, then you have new learning, all right? Or they're afraid of the big dog. Yes, Heather?
Sorry.
No.
This is Heather. I'm gonna jump in for a second. This also works when you have a learning log when there is not a provider, so you haven't created an action plan because there isn't a provider providing the services. Currently in the system, you have to go to the outcome, open up the action plan to get to the learning log. Now with this way, you can do it from the individual's front page if there's an action plan or not.
So again, I can just go in if I have not assigned action plans as the SSA, or for some reason there are no action plans assigned to the individual, I can enter from the front page by just doing general new learning. All right. I can say which discovery module it would relate to. Okay. Then I can talk about what the activity was, who was there, what worked well and what did not. So all of that information is right here at the fingertips, so you can copy and paste from email, whatever you need to do, just put it in, all right? I'm just gonna, all right. I'm not gonna finish this, but I'm just gonna save and close at this point. And we can see there is our new information right there, okay? All right, let's go back to Abby's front page. Are there any questions about the learning logs? One other thing is learning logs can still be accessed within, if it is learning for an action plan, those learning logs are accessible inside the outcome in the same place that they've always been. So there's no change in that. It's simply a change in making it easier for the SSA to enter learning logs that they need to get done. Okay. Now we have some new information on, or something new for you in our services and supports. You know, community employment, employment first, is all a big part, an initiative. What is entered in discovery for the path to community employment will appear right here. Now, do you see that there's two of the same? The reason that happened is because this individual had this as where they were on the path, but it had changed, and then it changed back, and I had re-entered it. So there are different, so wherever they are on the path will show here. and the top one is the current one. So if I'm in Discovery, where this is entered is on the path to community employment. Then I'm going to click on the results section. I click my plus sign, and put in my new path. Oops, this is happening again because I put things in today. All right, so it's not letting me change it right at this particular moment. But if you put this in, it would show up on the front page. All right.
And sorry, I just wanted to add something. On the individual's front page, for you guys that are Imagine counties, this might not mean much to see it on the front page on that path because you are used to getting to it from the Discovery modules. But this is an option that's now available for all 88 counties. Employment First is wanting them to put the individual's place on the path to employment. So this is available for all counties, Imagine or not Imagine. We just make it easier for Imagine counties that you can still do it in the Discovery modules like you're used to, and it'll display on the front page for the individual.
So all of this is with the OTS, the Outcome Tracking System. This is all integrated with Employment First. So it's all one. Again, as we've said all along, it's a DODD system, not just Imagine.
So we have a question.
Yes.
Where do you apply an attachment from a provider not in the IS?
You can put that attachment. If we go back to Abby's front page to the learning log, they don't need to be in the IS. On that learning log that we showed you, all right, if someone had entered information in the from the portal, gosh, I need some caffeine, let me tell you. If it's input there, that learning log will automatically show up. What we're allowing is that the addition of any new log very quickly and easily, all right? Again, I can put in a different date for whatever day they emailed it. Now, if you're asking if there is a place to actually attach the a document, no. It would need to be copied and pasted.
So we have another question. Hopefully
Wait, don't start that one. I want to add to that first question. So in SharePoint, there is an action plan folder. So if you create the learning log from the information that the provider sent you, you can actually attach that document into the action plan folder in SharePoint, so you have that document to access at any time. Okay, sorry, Jamie.
So I'm going to go back to that question real quick. Stephanie had a follow-up. So we would add the new information, not the attachment.
You could do both. So you could add the new information straight into a learning log, so that way anybody else in the portal would be able to see the information. But to store that attachment that they sent you, you could upload it into SharePoint, so then it is also in the portal under Documents.
And to put that information in, if you saw, I just clicked on Documents from the individual's front page. I can go down to Employment, open that folder, and then if I want to upload something, I just click Upload. If you saved it on your computer, you just say Upload. confidential, but the section and the category is for LOC, is that correct? It's for LOC. So you don't have to do all that. You see it's already uploaded. And if I was in the portal, I can actually see this information in the portal in this file. All right?
Okay.
So the second question.
The second question, so I think it regarded the error that popped up when you were adding. So why did the error pop up due to it being added today? What if someone enters the path incorrectly and needs to change it the same day? Will it cause an error?
All right. You know, I haven't tested that. I do know that it sometimes was, I know that's why it errored out, because it was the same date. Because I put it in this morning because I was working with this individual. So, yeah, if I end date, yeah, it's not going to let me change the date. So, it just went back. All right. Yeah, it automatically, it closed the one before on the 27th. So when I put the 28th in as the effective start date, it changed that. I'm going to have to research this. Jamie will get your name, and I will be happy to figure out what, because I thought you could just go in and put it in, but I'm not seeing, no. But the end date's not here, but I think that's because it was done today. Yeah. So if you make a mistake, we'll find out how you get that fixed, because that's very easy to do, is to click on the wrong one and automatically put it in. So I'll have to find out that for you, and I will email you. All right.
Stephanie did have a question on the processing for SharePoint. I think that's to upload.
Stephanie, are you okay on uploading? Do you need some, I'd be happy to give you another preview. I'll show you from right here, just in case somebody doesn't know. If I click View Documents from the individual's front page, it takes me directly. And by the way, that View Documents is available on a lot of different screens where you might need to upload supporting documentation. So you just click on the View Documents. Then you find whatever you would like to enter information about, whether it be employment or something else. You open that folder. Then you click Upload. I want to upload a file. And I'm going to go to something besides pictures this time for you and show you something that's really, really neat. All right. So let's see what I have in here. All right. So if I want to enter one, I simply click on it and click Open. And it uploads. Now again, it says required information, but because I had opened community membership beforehand, I don't have to input anything there unless I am entering an LOC document. If it's LOC, you must complete this information that's over on the side. All right, the section and the category for LOC. Okay, but there are other things that I can do also that I think are really cool. If I would like to, wants to go back to pictures there. If I want to enter this one and this one, I can hold down my control, my CTRL. I click the first one, I hold down the CTRL, I find what I want to do for the second one, I click it. Oops, I think it's because I didn't, well, it's not working for me today.
You're holding down shift.
No, I wasn't. I was holding down this. For some reason, it may be my computer, but I can also usually do multiples. So if you hold down your shift, it will do multiple documents at one time. All right? Very easy to get information into the system. And then all I have to do, once I've entered this information and I can see the file right here, if you need to move it to confidential because it's not, shouldn't be viewed by the individual, guardians, or providers, you can just move it down there and it will not be available in the portal. But if it's okay, then we just put it right here so that it can be viewed in the portal. Then I don't have to do anything here. I can just close the SharePoint site and it takes me back to the individual's front page. All right. One other thing that we have is that's new is adding action. Pardon? Yes, ma'am. We have another question.
Did you drag it to the confidential file?
Would you like me to drag it to the? Okay, let's go over there and I'll. What was I in community?
So I think, Stephanie, is your question, did she or do you need to? If it's something, I think one of the examples that I've heard used in the past, sorry to interrupt you, is if somebody, if an individual had bed bugs and they no longer do, it's no longer the case, and you don't really want it to be part of anything that anybody on the portal could see. You could change it or move it to that SSA confidential folder, and it would only be available for you to see. It wouldn't be public for the portal users or the individual.
It would be available to anyone at the county board. If, you know, because I know the counties have been taking care of that situation where they, you know, this individual had this issue several times, but you've moved them out of that place and got them into new housing, and it's not an issue anymore. So that's an example of why it would be confidential. But there's no other reason. If this information is for general consumption outside of the county board, just leave it in the folder.
And how did you do that again?
Oh, you were. All right, we click upload, files. I go find something. If I don't like what I had there, I can go find something else. I can always find something. All right, I'm going to do something quick. Year-end report values. Now, I've been uploading a Word document, but I can also upload, of course, Excel or anything else. It tells me it's updating, and it shows up right there. In just a couple of seconds, it tells you that it was there. Again, I don't have to do anything. Now, the reason this is all overlapping in this little snapshot view is because I have my screen resolution set really high, because those of you who know me know I can't half see. So it's a little bit on the side. Can you guys not see it? Oh.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah. It's right on the side. It says year-end cost reporting. There's overlapping text. But you, if you don't have that set, you won't see that.
Well, and you actually have to hit the circle I button to see that little screen. It doesn't normally show on your SharePoint page.
Yeah, sorry. We've been, you know, as all the testing we do, we get into stuff, and so you may not have this.
Can you drag that document into the confidential folder, please?
Oh. Well, if I get hold of it. There it went. Now, if I go into confidential, you saw how easy that was? There it is. So again, and if it's something like an outcome, All right. And I want to add, for this outcome, I'm wanting to add an action plan. I click on the down arrow at the top. I go to action plans. Here they are. This one is for Nat Holmes. I'm going to go to, oh, it is Gant?
I think so.
I thought the G was silent, sorry. It could be Gunat. So here is the name of the outcome, and this is the date that it was first active. Then I can choose my assigned provider. I want Happy Trails. I'm going to go ahead and change it to active, all right? My completion date is in 21. I have requested that the action plan be reported, the progress the individual has made on a quarterly basis. I'm just going to go ahead and save that because that's just me, because I've not in Imagine necessarily, but I've had computers just burp at inappropriate times. So now I'm going to expand this screen so it's easier for you to see. But I clicked on Action Steps to expand that. All I need to do now is click plus. Just like you've done all over the place. Again, if it was a provider, I can put in Happy Trails. If there is a particular, you have to put in who is going to be required to do that. It can be a person's name, or you can just put in provider staff. Notice the end date for the service is already set based on the outcome. The action plan was community involvement. Then you can put in to different types of businesses. So the staff will take Abby to different types of businesses at least once a month. All right. I click Save. And I can save and close. Now you see it's right here. And when we go into the portal, you're going to see that this is there also. So it's available in both places very easily. It just makes it so much easier. And if you have providers that are not in the portal, of course, we'll be happy to come out and get them into the portal for you. But also, we have an easy way for you to add information. Okay. All right. Now, I'm going to back up. Again, most of you know this, but anywhere there's the individual's name in blue, that's a link. I was told not to say that the computer gives you the finger. Oh, I said it again. Sorry. Heather's sitting here and I'm just messing with it. I could sing the song too, but that would be very disturbing. Oops, I did it again. We're going to look at case notes. And I'm going to change, of course, you know you can add case notes from the individual's front page. So here are two that I've added. I can add another one from here. And I can put in, change my date to whatever I'd like it to be. Now I'm going to change it to an earlier date just to show you. I'm going to back this up a little bit. I like to have lots of units in one. I know that's not the usual way. So You know, sometimes you really do need more caffeine. Okay, I'm going to say 1 o'clock. But it actually was, you know, you can change that. I should have done it this way anyway. 1:04. I can also change this to ready to review without having to save. I put in my billing code, who my contact was, what the service was, and the location at which it occurred. Now, if I save and new, watch what happens. This was a request from those of you that are using case notes. This makes it so much easier. And notice what happens. I have the same individual and the same date. I don't have to rechange the date. I, of course, have to put in the new time and whatever the new subject. But then you say, well, what if it's a different individual? Because that's usually what happens. You simply go down to your individual, all right?
Baby, yeah, click the, you're clicking
I know, I was clicking the wrong thing. It was my bad. That was me. Okay, let me explain something. This weekend, I was at the Panic at the Disco, and so I'm really tired. But it was a really good concert, by the way, if anybody likes them. All right. I'm going to back it up just for the heck of it.
Overlap, because you just did, you need to change that to AM.
Oh, I thought it was AM. My bad. Okay, so I've always clicked over here and then deleted it.
Yeah,
okay.
you were clicking on
I was clicking on the actual link. Do you have a name of somebody in the system? I'm trying to think.
Carter? Or,
Yeah, Carter's in here. Thank you.
no more concerts on a school night.
Thank you.
Yeah, but it was a good concert. But I am tired. We also walked for about 3.5 hours around the, I'm just going to pick somebody, 3.5 hours around the Cincinnati Aquarium, which was a lot of fun. But you see now I can do my contact and I can put my services in very easily, okay? All right, so. So if I can do save, or I can do save and new, and when I do save and new, it's going to bring up the same individual again, and it's going to bring up the same date that I was on. So if I am in the calendar, this makes this very easy to do. So either way, if you're in the calendar, it works just the same as it did from the individual's front page. You simply go to your calendar view. I'm not giving it time to do anything. Choose a day. Okay. Draft, ready to review. I choose my individual that was supported. I can type in part of their name, do a search. There she is. Okay. All right. Billing code, billable, and then our contact, just our regular information. Oh, I did non-billable. Doesn't really matter, but. And save and new. And it goes back to the same date. So should make this much faster for anyone who is putting in case notes. Right? And you can change, again, you can change the date, you can change the time, you can change the individual. Any of that can be changed from that point. Now, one of the other things that is available now is the, well, if I can think for a second, it was requested that supervisors, when they have a SSA who we put the review settings on, we needed to have this to be able to make sure that we have a chance to review, all right, their information. Oh, that's right. Thanks. We have to have that. And by the way, sorry about this part. I somehow managed to close them down. Not quite sure how I did that one. But I think we should move these to like Wednesday, maybe. All right, let's continue. And I can go, I think I have her set up in training. Oops, yeah. For those of you that do testing, what I've done is opened up an incognito window. So even though I'm in Chrome already, I can right click and say open a new incognito, and I can actually go in and change my information. So, oops, that was not what I meant to do. One of these days, one of these days. All right. I'm not sure I signed in as the right person here. But if I set the review settings up, you can see on the slide that as soon as they move a case note to ready to review, it's going to automatically send the supervisor a notification so that they can go in and review it and move the case note to ready to process, or back to draft if the SSA needs to do some new things. And I'm not sure what's happening here. Maybe because I have so much open, I'm thinking that's it. So I'm just gonna slide out of this. If anybody has any specific questions on the review process or how to set them up, I can do that at the end if you'd like, with no problem. All right. We also have new information for the SSA on the Discovery History Report. Any discovery reports that we have, we can go in and print the old discovery reports. Now, this could be for accreditation, or for any other means. So here are our modules, and below now is the discovery history. Now this means that you need to publish it every time you change something, so information will be available. Okay.
So none of this has changed. What this is a bug fix for those old published discoveries where you couldn't run a report to get all 9 modules. You could only run a report for each individual module. So the name there and the hyperlink there, everything works the same. If you scroll down on the page and find the bottom one where you don't have the hyperlink, the HTTPS, those are the old discoveries before we started making changes to discovery, the phasing changes. This is the page that's changed. Before you had to open each of the 9 modules to run the PDF report and then combine them into one report. Open Snapshot was there, it stopped working, so they fixed it. So now you can see all 9 modules in one report.
All right, or you can still just print one module if you prefer. Okay, so both are available either way. Okay. Now, if you print from one that has, just so you know, if you print from one of the modules, from one of the reports, and like, for example, you didn't make any changes here, it will actually, and it has the URL, it will only print the information that has been changed.
Right. That's marked include in ISP.
That's marked include in ISP, sorry.
Everything that's marked include in ISP will be on that published report.
Mm-hmm.
If it's in draft or share, when you publish, it's just like the ISP. It doesn't publish it to make that hard copy. So everything that stays include in ISP will be included in that publish. It's just the stuff that is draft or share.
Any questions? Okay. So we're going to go back to Abby's front page, and I'm going to go to her service summary. And I'm going to do her current one. So we have our proposed services available, all right? We can get a report of that now. We have different reports that you can run. You can run the whole service summary, or you can actually run the proposed services. What that does is take all of the services that are in proposed and prints them on one report. This is on the slide that you can see. It tells you where the service information, all of the billing, all of that is included in this information, okay? So it's very easy to be able to print the proposed services depending on how your county goes about what your process is for entering and approving services. This makes it a lot easier for those that are doing, it's a way to get the proposed services and hand off a paper copy in addition to the Imagine copy that would be available online. But if someone wanted to do something, it would be there, all right? Any questions about that new? But there's now a PAWS report available, making sure I'm still connected. Sometimes because I've been sitting here for a while with, without it. Come on. Actually, I'd like to go to reports instead. Maybe I'll go there. See if I pick it. All right. So notice, if you have done the fetch in Imagine, so you're in your service summary, you've done your MSS CPT has been done, all you have to do is the BSS, whether it be the SSA or someone else, whoever does the costing, will fetch the services. We've shown you this a couple of times. Once the services are fetched, that means that the PAWS report and everything is not only included in Imagine, but it's also in the portal. And the providers can see the PAWS detail right here from their reports page.
There were some issues with some providers getting some error messages when they were trying to download the PAWS report. So this fix corrected that for them as well. And it fixed also seeing the same report in documents. Can we open the service summary folder?
Yeah, I was going to show it to them.
They were having some problems accessing the documents, service summary, PAWS report from there as well. So they've both been fixed. So those providers that you have that are getting errors when they're trying to access that PAWS report should be okay now.
The PAWS report is in the service summary folder, and I can click on it. There it is. If I want to download it, I can, okay? So, all right. Any questions on that? Nope. So the report is available in the documents and in the download from the front page. All right. One other thing that has changed is the ISP report. I was just going to show this to you from here. So now you can include discovery results, all right, or any of these other, oops, see, it told you I timed out because I wasn't in here. But I can, if I go to my ISP, I can actually see the last revision date. Now this was a request because people were saying they didn't know which ISP. And so on the actual report, when they pick it up, if there's someone that wants to print things, when they pick it up, it will be there for them. Okay. Well, all right. So here are the ISPs, all right, that are in the system. And there's supposed to be another one in here.
The top one right there. Go down to it. Where you see name, creator.
Yeah, right this one. Yeah, there was a, but I had a new one in here. I don't know what happened.
Scroll all the way to the bottom to see it if you published it.
So here is the plan for Abby, and I can include discoveries results, essential health, any of this information very easily. So you do have this option to include discovery results. You also have the last revision date available right there on the front of the report. So there shouldn't be any confusion about that information at all. And the discovery information, now I haven't put it into PDF, but. So the discovery information is going to appear right below that, okay? All right, so everything is in there.
That had been a request. A lot of providers wanted to see the ISP, but wanted to see more than just the important twos, important fours, and risks. So instead of going into discovery and running the report, they wanted to be able to just run it in the ISP itself. So that's why we've added that.
All right. Now, the slideshow that is attached actually has all of this information with screenshots and information, and you're welcome to, if you have a problem downloading it, just send one of us an email, and you'll see all this information, and you can have it. I'm pretty good about putting in circles and arrows and all of that information. So there's discovery. There's the email addresses. Today it was me and Jamie and Heather all in here. So any of you would like some additional information, then please feel free to contact us, and we'll talk you through anything, give you additional information, whatever you would like. I'd also like to mention before we leave today, please remember that we are available by contacting Heather to come to your county, and there's a couple of things that one of the things that we've been doing for a lot of counties is coming in and showing them all the new whistles and bells and how easy the new system is and how it's all interlaced. It's all one DODD system. We also are available if you have a new SSA or people that would like some additional training. We're available for that. And third, if you have individuals whose ISPs have not been put into the system, we can come down for what we call continuous circle of support, and you hand the last the last ISP to the trainers, and we will get all that information entered, so that all the SSA will be required to do is to go in and change anything that is needed for, change discovery, add to it, change services, but all that information would be in there, and it makes it easy to begin and use the system. We also are available to come down and train your providers, get them into the portal, get them actually set up in the portal as we sit there. We've also found it's really helpful if the SSA and the provider are in the same room, and the individual or guardian, if we can get all three of them, because one person will enter something or change something in either the portal or the CRM side, and it will immediately show up in the portal. And that has been the most effective training we've seen. You're actually live in the system, in your individuals, with your individuals, and with their providers. And they can see how easy it is to agree to the ISP, to put in action steps, to do learning logs. And we can show the SSA how quickly that information appears in the CRM. And we'd love to come see you. It would be nice. Please, please, get us out of this office. But don't tell Heather I said that.
Yeah. Please, get them out of the office.
Thank you all very much. I hope everything was that, even though we bounced around a lot, because it was the information for this What's New webinar spanned a lot of different places. If you have any questions, comments, anything you'd like to see or for us to go through again, just contact any of us. All of you, is there any questions at the end? Well, all of you have a wonderful afternoon, and stay warm the next couple of days. It's supposed to be dropping pretty bad. But so maybe that means we should all just cuddle up at home. Huh, Heather?
Yeah, go for it.
Thank you very much, and all of you have a nice day.